Alright, hello everybody, this is Zaxtor99. This is a video I felt I had to make just because of the humor in it and the ties to each and every one of us as human beings as we go through life, especially nowadays online. It seems that all of us at some point or another have had a really simple problem or a simple question that we wanted to ask, and maybe we felt like we should know the answer, and so we try to make ourselves seem a little more qualified in our knowledge than we actually are. And I don't know. Let me give you an example. Let's say that our whole lives we've worked on cars, or we've changed a lot of tires in our lives or whatever. But for whatever reason, something passes us one day, and we can't remember. I don't know. We can't remember how many lug nuts hold on a wheel on a certain make of car, on a Toyota or whatever, or a Honda, and we're like, damn. And before we ask the, maybe we're at our mechanic shop and we need to ask a fellow employee how many lug nuts are on this car or this Toyota or whatever, and we make it feel like instead of just saying outright, I, my mind went blank today. I forgot how many lug nuts they are, because it's kind of embarrassing, right? It's kind of embarrassing to ask how many lug nuts hold on this wheel. It just slipped us, right? So instead of admitting that, we try to make it seem like we're more knowledgeable than we are. I know this, but I'm just testing you. Whatever it is that we do, we try to make ourselves look more knowledgeable about the subject than we are, so the question's less embarrassing. And then when we get maybe laughed at a little bit, especially for the way we ask the question, maybe when we get a little bit of a chuckle, we get even more humiliated. And at that point, it's when we just need to say thank you. Somebody tells us, laughs at us a little bit, and tells us "for, dude." At that point, that's when we just need to say thank you and take the embarrassment in it and just move on. But sometimes, some people say, "Oh, I was just kidding. You're such a dumbass. You thought I really wanted to know. You thought I didn't know. You're a freaking idiot." Whatever it is, we end up taking that embarrassment and trying to push it onto somebody else, somebody that gave us the answer. And that's exactly what happened with one of my videos just this morning. And I want to share that with you guys right here. So any of you guys out there that know anything about computers, and especially computer hard drives, are probably going to get a chuckle out of this. But I think that we can all get something out of this, because I think we've all seen this either in ourselves or in somebody else, at least at one point in their life, if not in many. Let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about, guys. So in this video, a video I made a little over 3 years ago now, it was a video meant to help people figure out what's happening to their hard drive space that kind of disappears over time as they use their operating system or whatever. We're talking about hard drive space that goes away and you're not installing, files or movies or downloading anything or whatever, and the hard drive space just goes down and down and down. And that's kind of what this video was about, and showed people that there's a simple setting on Windows that you can set that reserves hard drive space, and you won't see it if it's reserved. And I show you guys how to fix that, or I show people how to fix that, and it's been viewed 132,000 times as of the time that I'm recording this video now. A lot of people have said thank you. But this morning, when I woke up, I was still sleepy, so I got to admit I didn't read the question exactly right, because by the point I got to the part where the guy talks about going to college, I was already chuckling. Yeah, but I want to show it. I want to show you guys what happened here. So 5 hours ago, while I was asleep, this guy here, Tim Clark, made a comment on this video, and he says 35 gigabytes disappeared from my solid state drive. An SSD is a solid state drive. As in permanently. He says 35 gigabytes from his SSD permanently disappeared. It's a 500 gigabyte Samsung 850 EVO, and now it's only 465 gigabytes. So I want you guys to understand exactly what he said right there. He said 35 gigabytes has permanently disappeared from his 500 gigabyte hard drive. He says, I accidentally deleted the over-provisioned partition during a recent installation of Windows 7, and now it shows it's no longer on my hard drive. Now, some of you guys that know anything about this are already chuckling. I guarantee you there's people out there, there's guys out there that are already chuckling. Already, guaranteed. Because I know I was. He says, shows to be gone in disk management and my BIOS as well. So this guy's really trying to find that missing 35 gigabytes, which makes it even funnier. And this is where I really started laughing when I read this. He says, I am by no means a noob, and I was going to go to AIU for my bachelor's in information technology, so do you have any idea what happened? I formatted it and everything, so I know it's not just hiding anywhere. So this is where I started laughing when he said, I am no noob. I saw something about bachelor's in information technology. I didn't read that he was going to go. I thought he said he had already went and got his bachelor's in information technology, because after all, he's not a noob. And this guy is desperately trying to find this missing 35 gigabytes, which he knows disappeared when he deleted the over-provisioned partition during a recent installation of Windows 7. So guys, I was a little bit cruel, I guess, in my response, but you gotta stick with us. It gets good. And so my response here, 44 minutes ago, as you can see, says, LMAO, you are no noob, And I said, this is, like I said, where I read it wrong. You have a bachelor's in information technology? I should have said, so you're going for one. Really? That sounds highly suspicious when you don't even know the basics of how all hard drives are manufactured. And I give him his answer right here in all caps. Every hard drive manufacturer sells and advertises hard drives in blocks of 1,000. However, computers and Windows reads blocks of 1,024 per block. Thus meaning, and this is this is something for all you guys to know about hard drives. If you ever go buy a 1 gigabyte hard drive, you're not going to get the full 1,000. A 1 terabyte hard drive, you're not going to get the full 1,000 gigabytes. If you go buy a 500 gigabyte hard drive, you're only going to show 465. And so I say, thus meaning that every 500 gigabyte hard drive ever sold, no matter what brand it is, will only read as 465. And I say this is perfectly normal. You're not missing any space. You're not missing 35 gigabytes. And if you truly have a bachelor's in information technology, you should know this. And I explained to him, I've never went to any school nor read any books on this myself, and I've known this for over 20 years. I said, you're fine, Tim, but this comment made my day. It made me laugh, and it did. It definitely made me laugh. I was laughing so much I didn't even read the fact that he said he was going to go for his bachelor's rather than he did, which I read it as he did. Anyway, I said I even gave him a link. I mean, you can Google this, guys. Why does my 500 gigabyte hard drive, which I did right here, why does my 500 gigabyte hard drive only show 465? And this is just a link from one of the many answers you can get, where somebody goes in here, a student at Hunter College, actually gives you an answer. Hard drive manufacturers advertise their data in powers of 1,000, exactly as I explained it to him, and I gave him a link. There's many websites that will give you the same answer or explain it for you, which is why I chose this link, because it's a pretty good explanation that matches my explanation. And so I gave him the link. Now this is where it gets good, and this is where I talk about sometimes you just need to say thank you and admit you goofed or admit you didn't know, rather than try to fire back and making the person that's giving you the answer look like the noob, whatever. So Tim Clark fires back and says, like, just 5 minutes later, he fires back and says, you need to pay attention, which I did because I was laughing. He says, you clearly didn't. And I do know that I lost, okay, but this is what he's talking about. I do know that I lost 35 gigabytes. Really, Tim? You know that you lost 35 gigabytes. I just gave you your answer. You didn't lose 35 gigabytes. I know I lost 35 gigabytes because I deleted the overpartitioned partition while installing Windows 7. Listen, fool! You didn't lose 35 gigabytes, Tim. You need to listen, bud. You need to read. It's in all caps right here, man. It was an individual partition that showed up among the choices to install on. Also, I didn't say I have a bachelor's in science of information technology. I said I was going to go to AIU in my bachelor's. You also said you're not a noob. Yes, I did read the fact wrong that you haven't actually went and got your bachelor's yet, but you did say I'm by no means no noob. I know what I'm asking here. And so stop acting like a noob and like you know it all, which you clearly don't. And he goes on to insult me here. And you got your information from Quora? Ha ha, what an amateur! Ha ha ha! True, they advertise more than what they actually is, but sometimes, as in my Western Digital Passport says 1 terabyte, but it's actually 931 gigabytes. So he's saying this is a situation where you actually get everything you buy, huh? It's exactly the same thing, Tim. It's a double the hard drive space, 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte, which is 1,000 gigabytes, but you actually got 931. It's exactly the same thing. 465 doubled. It's rounded up, so you get 931 instead of 930. But that's exactly the same thing as this, as what you spoke about in the original question. Exactly the same as I explained the answer to. He's acting like they're way different. They're not, dude. He's like, but still, Samsung didn't in this case. Again, it's the same thing, Tim, but he's saying they're different. Samsung didn't in this case. Dude, it's exactly the same. Oh my God. Palms to my head right here. Anyway, he's like, I know because there was actually 465 gigabytes, but then 35 gigabytes that is over provisioned by Samsung Magician. So this guy is still arguing that he lost 35 gigabytes by provisioning his hard drive with this program. I mean, he's given me all the details about how he lost 35 gigabytes rather than just seeing the answer that I've already given him in all caps here. He's so determined to win this argument. He's so determined. This would be like that mechanic that I talk about, saying that there's 5. Saying, I know that there's 5 lug nuts holding this wheel on when there's only 4, right? I know there's 5. And just continuing to argue that he's right, that somehow there's magically 5 lug nuts on this wheel, and it's right in freaking front of him that there's only 4. That's how bad this would be, guys. A mechanic in a shop telling somebody, one of his co-employees here, that there's 5 lug nuts when it's right in front of him. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about how bad this is. And so at this point here, I say cover my head with my hands because I truly am at this point. I'm like, Tim, this is one of those times when you just need to shut up, dude. You're trying to dig yourself out of an already embarrassing situation, and you're just digging yourself in deeper and deeper and deeper. LOL. And he's like, fine, think what you like, but unless you actually have a Samsung 850 EVO, you need to shut up and stop embarrassing yourself. Tim, I've already given you your answer. Man, you haven't lost 35 gigabytes on your 500 gigabyte hard drive. You have the full hard drive, man. It's right here in information. It's right here at the link you mocked. It's right here at the link you mocked here. You get your information from Quora. What an amateur, he said. And he also says right here, his last line is, unless you actually have a Samsung 850 EVO, you need to shut up. All right. Tim, there's a video I did 2 years ago where I built my own PC. I built the PC I'm using right now. Same PC I read your comment on, I responded to your comment on, the same PC I'm recording this video on right now. I built my own PC and I showed people how to make it in a video. In this first video, I talked about the parts I used to make my PC. He says unless you have a Samsung 850 EVO, you need to shut up and stop embarrassing yourself. As you can see, my video, Zaxtorian, March 11th, 2016, $1,100 gaming build, you'll see that I actually am using a Samsung SSD 850 EVO hard drive. Right here. All right, guys. Hopefully, some of you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully, some of you out there got a chuckle out of this. I'm sure you did. If you did, be sure you comment down below. Let me know. I'd love to read that. I want to thank you guys for watching. This has been Zaxtor99. And just one of those funny little moments when sometimes we really need to shut up and just accept the answer and quit trying to prove we're right, because we just dig ourselves deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole. Have a good day out there, Mr. Tim Clark online. Peace, everybody. Take care.